I guess let's try this one again, huh?
Second time around.
Were you sort of surprised that it came to be rebooked so quickly and that he was able to do the double weight cut and all that sort of stuff? Or were you...
So right away they were talking about this date. I didn't know if it was gonna work. I guess Cowboy had like a movie thing he was doing in Thailand and stuff like that. So I thought it wasn't gonna work, but he said he would make it work, and he made it work.
Talk us through the day of the cancellation. What was your day like? When did you start hearing about it, and when did they tell you officially, like, hey, it's off?
So after the fact, I heard that like he started getting sick like in the morning, like 3-4 in the morning. He was throwing up, not feeling well. I didn't hear any of that at the time though, because obviously he's telling the UFC, hey, I'm in trouble. I'm not feeling well. Can we make this fight still happen? Obviously, it didn't happen, but they aren't going to go and tell me that. Oh, Cowboy's feeling like crap. Just to let you know. So it's, but morning of the fight, I worked out. We always do like a coaching meeting. We do like our last workout. We do a coaching meeting, just kind of talk about, just kind of reiterate, just kind of like all just like positive talk, and then I ate some lunch. Watched like I don't know, watching basketball or football or something. And then I went and took a nap. I laid down, take a nap, put my phone on silent, and Sean Shelby tried calling me. Of course, it didn't wake me up because it's on silent. He's not my favorites. And then my boxer coach Steve Mays came in. He woke me up and said, "Hey, you were right." Like, what do you mean? He's like, "Fight's off. Cowboy's sick." All week, like going back like a month before, 2 months before maybe. I kept telling everyone I had a feeling the fight was not going to happen. I don't know why. I just like didn't know if it was going to be COVID related. Didn't know why. I feel like it's not going to happen. I just feel like I know if he's got a broken leg, he will show up and he'll try to fight. But I just had a feeling it wasn't going to happen. And then I was talking to Craig Brassari, and I was talking to a bunch of people. Like even at the ceremonial weigh-ins, I'm like, I just feel like the fight's not going to happen. Like, it must happen now. We're so close. It's going to happen. I'm sure it's going to happen. But I just kept saying, I feel like it's not going to happen. And I've never been paranoid like that ever before. I've never had a feeling like this before. I never really dealt with that before. But I felt like the fight wasn't going to happen. And then that was so when Steve Mays came in, he's like, "Oh, you were right. Like, this is not how I want to be. This is not how I want this to go." I cried a little bit. Was a little upset. But they dragged me to the fight. Went to the fight. It was super miserable the entire time. We're back again, so we'll see how it goes.
Maybe to give us all a heads up, do you have that feeling?
I don't. I mean, I think it's gonna happen this time. We'll see. We're not there yet.
Fingers crossed. Did he call you? He said that he spoke to you on the phone and said he was sorry and tried.
Yep. So I flew back on Sunday. I think he drove back. I don't know. But like I just he posted like an update on Instagram or something. I just replied like, "I hope you feel better," or whatever. So we were texting back and forth a little bit, and then he called me like Wednesday or Thursday or something, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, does June 18th work for you?" He's like, "Cause I got this movie thing I'm supposed to do, but if June 18th works for you, then I'll commit to that. We can do that." He's like, if it doesn't work for you, I don't want to go and plot of this movie. So I'm like, "Yeah, no, if you can make the 18th, I can make the 18th." He's like, "Okay, I owe you the fight. I got you. I'll be there." And then he went and did the movie anyways. So I don't know. He's in Thailand, so I don't know. But he's here, which is all that really matters.
Yeah, for he did say earlier that it was very important to him to get you this fight, that he felt he owed you it. Because it's Cerrone, right? Because of his reputation, when he pulled out, was there some sort of comfort in like, I know he wouldn't have done that if there was no other alternative?
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely, I never thought for a second that it was like some bullshit reason or whatever. Like I thought I shouldn't have said that, but I never thought it was gonna be some BS reason. I just thought, I'm sure that if he was legitimately sick, like I've been, knock on wood, I've never had to pull out of a fight close to like that. But if he was able to fight, he would have been there.
I'm sure every fight comes with its anxieties on fight week. Is there just a little bit extra on this one, being like, God, please not 2 in a row. Please don't do it again.
Not at this point. Like the first 2 weeks of training. So like the first week, so I talked to him, I think on Wednesday. It was definitely Wednesday. I went and did strength conditioning on Tuesday. You know how miserable it is to ride that bike when you don't know if you're doing it for a reason? It sucks when you have a fight coming up and you know it's going to happen. But it's literally it's not, just ride a bike for 20 minutes. It's like doing like long sprints, like the point where like you're like falling over, like passing out off the bike. Like it's horrible. So to do that without knowing I'm going to have a fight coming up is it's pretty terrible. And then I think it was Wednesday I talked to him. It sounded like the fight was going to happen. So Thursday I went to strength conditioning again, and I felt way better about doing it at that point. So the first week or so at that point, I was like, do I really want to do this again for 6 more weeks? There's been a long camp. It's been 20 weeks up to that point, so now we're gonna do another 6 weeks. But after we got over that a little bit, and it's okay, we're gonna get this done. We're gonna just, work it out, grind it out, whatever you gotta do.
Is there all something extra mentally tough about the fact that you were right there. You know, it's not like even the Monday of fight week is like
It's
you
the
were
worst. It's the worst. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing if like I didn't cut weight and I knew this and I was like I literally like I flew to the event. I got ready all week long. I did all the media stuff, all the it's like nothing would make me happier than sitting in my house like playing with playing Xbox and hanging out with my kids, like eating pizza. Like that's what I like to do. Like that's what I would love to do. So now it's like I'm away from my family and doing all this sort of stuff. And then I cut weight, which is not fun. Like I didn't have a bad weight cut, but it still sucks. So I do the weight cut. I weigh in. I do all the media stuff. I do the ceremonial weigh in. We have a coaching meeting. We have the last shakeouts. Like everything has been done. We've done over 99% of the work, and then bam, not happening. No payoff. It's like I would have rather fought and gotten beat up than to not fight at all. You know what I mean?
very
It's just
Joe Lauzon thing to say.
it sucks. It's the worst. It's just a horrible, horrible feeling. Like this like unresolved feeling of just like we did all this work for nothing.
I understand you got your show money, right?
I got my show money. I got my event money. Yep. So I got so that was. I mean, that's obviously really really nice, but that wasn't like the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Like I would have pushed to get the win money if the fight wasn't going to happen. Like if they weren't going to rebook it, I would have pushed because like it was so last minute. But they said, hey, we're gonna do our best to have it happen again in 6 weeks. Less than 6 weeks probably wouldn't have made sense because if you're sick, you need a little bit of time to kind of get back into things and train a little bit and stuff like that. So like, and if it was longer than 6 weeks, it would probably be a little bit too long. It's like you're doing a whole camp again. So 6 weeks is kind of like the sweet spot.
Is there a silver lining that you get 2 paychecks for one fight?
It's nice, but I wish that we just settled on 6 weeks ago. That would have been the ideal thing.
I don't know if you know the answer to this, but at what point does a fight get sort of ticked off your contract? Is it the moment they pay you for the fight, or is it you have to actually have had the fight for it to get?
I think the fight has to happen. I know like my show money and all that stuff is the same for this fight as it was for last time because the fight didn't technically happen. Like it almost happened, but it didn't actually happen.
Just look, the one thing you said that was kind of curious to me. You work out on the day that you fight?
Yeah. Yep.
What sort of workout do you do?
Just like break a sweat. I mean, it's hard after. So like even on weigh-in day, we'll work out. So like on we'll start our weight cut tomorrow, Thursday, with a workout, right? So like I'll put on like sweatpants, long sleeve, sweatshirt, hat, whatever, and we'll work out, and that would kind of be like the start of our weight cut. I'll hit mitts, I'll grapple a little bit, then we'll do like the sauna blanket and hot tub or whatever, and then we'll make weight like that, and then we'll weigh in Friday morning. And then we'll start eating and drinking right away. We'll do the ceremonial weigh-in. And then as soon as we get back from that, we'll go and work out right away. And it's like not an intense workout, but it's just like, hit some mitts, wrestle around a little bit, just break a sweat, get your body to kind of wake up again. Because if you just don't do anything, like after you cut weight like that, you need to get your body like accustomed to sweating again and working and functioning, get your muscles going. So we'll do that Friday night, and then we'll do that again Saturday morning. And then we'll work out again, before the fight. Then we'll warm up. So it'll be like I'll have like 2 full workouts in before I even get to fighting it.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
What do you make of, I don't know if you pay attention to like the betting odds and everything like that, but what do you make of like the line being closer this time around? It's just a month away, like not much really happened besides, Cerrone getting sick, but this time around the line's a lot closer.
Well, the line was getting closer last time as it got close to the fight. I think when it started, it was like 3-1 or something like that, and it dropped down to like 130 or something like that. So it got a lot closer. Anyone that's paying attention knows that Cowboy was out in Thailand. He's out in Thailand and doing a movie and stuff like that. So like how much is that helping him out? I was ready to go. So obviously like he got sick, but how much of that was him having a hard weight cut? How much of that was him being like 100% healthy and then just randomly getting sick? It's not like he got sick, 2 weeks out. You got sick right after you cut weight. So it's like it's tied in a little bit. But I think that's part of it. I think the big thing with betting lines too, it's not necessarily who they think is going to win. I think it's based on how they think people are going to bet. Right. So Cowboy's a huge fan favorite. Tons of people know him. So of course there's going to be a lot of money that's going to come in on him just because he's popular. So I think that's kind of that factors into the line a little bit.
Gotcha. And how important was it for you to keep the fight together? Because Cowboy said it was extremely important for him to make sure that this matchup stayed intact.
Right away, I didn't know if I even wanted to do it. Honestly, like my last fight was in Boston. Was like picture perfect, be the perfect last fight ever. Like I fought at home. I fought a kid that's really good. I came out unscathed, just like flawless victory. Like everything about the fight was perfect. And then like it was like now we're like close to 2 years until the next fight. And now it's like it was a fight I was excited for, but then it didn't work out for whatever reason. It didn't happen. So it's like, do we really, is this just a sign? Do we not want to do this? Is this like, maybe should we just like let this be the end of it? But like, I was like, it was such like a horrible feeling of like I said, it being unresolved that like we had to settle it. I felt like I had to do it, So like at first I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but then I thought about it a little more. I'm like, okay, no, I definitely want to do this. I definitely want to, settle this out and kind of see how it shakes out. Yeah, it's just weird. Like I've never had like a rematch kind of like this, where the fight didn't happen and then you do it again right away.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty unique situation.
Yep.
Like say for example, like if the fight did happen, like do you see any other situation where you could be like, yeah, I'll turn around and fight 6 weeks later at this point in your career?
Not usually. I mean, the big thing is like wear and tear. It's like, like we try to do everything to try to, peak at the right time and get your weight at the right time. Like I'm definitely lighter this time around than I was last time. Last time, like at this point, I was like probably waking up at like 68, 69. This time I'm waking up at like 66, 67. So I'm a couple pounds lighter because I try to put on weight. I was working out so much, I just couldn't, So it's like, there's so many things we try to like peak. You try to peak your health just as far as like injuries. It's like, it's a balance, right? You train super safe. You come in healthy, but you're not necessarily the most prepared. You train really, really hard. Well, now you're banged up a little bit. It's like, so it's kind of like trying to find like that sweet spot for everything, health and timing and strength conditioning and cardio and everything. I probably would not have chosen to fight 6 weeks later under most circumstances.
And going through all that, like learning, about your body and everything like that, is there anything that you're still learning about yourself, like as a fighter at this point in your career?
I don't think necessarily learning, but I think it's just always like you're always refining. You're always getting things a little bit better. Like when I fought in Boston, a couple of things that we did that were a little bit different that I really, really liked. Going forward. So like we try to do more of that. Like it's there's so many factors and some you can control and some you can't. So you just try to do your best to try to control what you can and don't freak out. Like I try to focus on things I can control. Right. There's a lot of things I can't control. Like I can't control what Cowboy does. He could get sick again. He could not make weight. There's so many things that I can't control. So I don't stress on that stuff. Like I just focus on my stuff. Like my weight's been light. Am I going to make weight? What do I have to do? What's going on? Am I drinking enough water? Like there's enough things that I can focus on, I can control. So I focus on those.
Hey, Joe. Your last fight was over 2 years ago, almost 3 years. Did you think at that time that was going to be your last one, or did you expect like a fight coming up?
It could have been the last one, but like right after the fight happened, I felt really, really good about everything. And I definitely liked the idea of possibly fighting again. Right. I didn't know if I was definitely going to fight again, but I liked the idea of possibly, it cost me nothing to have Sean Shelby text me, hey, do you want to fight this guy on this date? I'm like, well, I say yes or I say no. If I really, really like it, I say yes. I've been in the USADA pool for like 2.5 years, just in case, a name came, across that I liked. Doesn't bother me being in USADA pool. It's like, it's not a pain in the butt. It's easy. But then all the COVID stuff happened. I definitely don't want to do it now. I don't want to put an entire camp and then have the fight not happen last minute. That would be horrible, right? We wouldn't want that to happen, and then it happened. So I don't know. I thought I was trying to be smart and not fighting during all the COVID stuff, and then it still ended up not happening. But I didn't know if that was gonna be the last fight. But I was always open to the possibility of more fights after that.
So are you expecting to take more fights regardless of the outcome, or when you expect to win?
I mean, I expect to win. I expect things to go well on Saturday. I think I'll be in the same boat come Monday as I am right now. Like we'll I'm willing to take names and opportunities, and that's one of the big things Dan always says. He's like, oh, fighting UFC is not a career; it's an opportunity, right? It's like I'm open to more opportunities. I've always been, so. If I go out on Saturday and Cowboy kicks me in the face and it's a bad fight and everything goes bad, then that will very likely be the last one, right? But even if I lost the fight and it was like a close competitive fight, then I think we would entertain more opportunities again, because I don't have to take anything. I'm not forced, right? I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. It's like, hey, do you want to fight this guy on this date? Yes or no? I say yes if I do. I say no if I don't. Like I like being asked the question, even if I'm going to say no almost every single time.
So the layoff was more just circumstantial. It wasn't.
It was honestly more COVID than anything. I just didn't want to do a camp and have it get pulled out last minute. The UFC was losing so many fights, and like I'm glad that some people were willing to kind of take that gamble and take that risk and go and do it. But I didn't want to do it. If my last fight had been the last fight, I'd be totally fine with that. I'd be totally okay with that. Would have been a great last fight to kind of sail off in the sunset. But to go and during like COVID times and all that stuff, I wasn't interested in rolling the dice.
And lastly, for me, Cowboy's on, I think, like a 5-fight losing streak in the UFC. How do you still look at him and think that, okay, this guy's still dangerous? He still is he's the Cowboy of old.
I think that you have good fights, you have bad fights, right? He's fought really, really good guys, and like just because I won my last fight, he lost last fight, that means nothing, right? The only thing that matters is, how well I prepared for this fight and how well he prepared for this fight and kind of how we pair off against each other. He's had a lot of fights at 170, fighting up a higher weight class. He's fought murderer's row of 55ers. So I'm definitely like, we always try to train for like worst case scenario, right? We're training for the best Cowboy Cerrone. If we think, oh well, he's lost his last fight, he's washed up, he doesn't have this, like that's us planning to lose. Like that's not a good outlet, and a good outlook to have on the fight. We need to be smart. We need to be, fight smart. Can't take anything for granted. Keep our hands up, keep our chin down, and respect him, because the second you don't respect someone and you don't take them serious is when they get lucky and they clip you.
Thanks.